for Mechiamo channel needing the voice of TV. Message and then the first time I watch my videos. No one subscribe to my YouTube channel either. I'm we are no one like, no one share, no one comment. Notification baby, but not do send me as well, mammy. Say, but yeah, anytime I'm doing new videos, to be ano. Once I submit my day, I can be Ghana for me say, way video ya obey. NDC for any issue anymore. NDC for any yammy. Yes, would obey video no. Na se see you na yi na di Tamale no. Se a fort. And I say a friend say Ghana government fort wana and because what the Ghana for we think of which made you matama home. What the message be video no. Na he ebimu comment bi o mu make na the real doctor na kwasi ni minister kasa ko disrespect no. Mo per respect and this phone kwasiafo mo per respect. Mo na mo buna na akufuado nkwasiafo na wo aka no wo pese ebu mo bodam mo na mo buna na akufuado na mo buna na akufuado pani be na mo bunu ha ana mo refi mo ho pani be na mo bunu okroma na de aduru so chese mo na post eti se mo ye fon papa and this for me se mo ye fon Ghana for mo da mo ye nkode nkɔ video no mo nkɔ video no na ofo e wudi o machi heaven kra wo nkobi wo be ye bone.
Call was made. The 4 vents were in use, so there was no extra vents anywhere to put the patient on. So that was the issue that kind of caused the delay. But all the resuscitation was done here. We called the ICU and they said they didn't have any vents available for the intubation. And at that point, there's really little that you'll be able to do without the intubation. So the patient was being bagged here until the patient could.
So when the patient go here, how many minutes did they get you to assess the patient?
Oh, within 10 minutes, because usually when you score red, you are immediately brought to the red zone. There is no situation where you have to delay. You are pushed straight to red. So as soon as you are tried red, you are brought in there.
And then, when did you communicate with the ICU when they told you they didn't have any vents?
No, I think immediately we identified that the patient needed to have been intubated. The ICU call was made.
And they said they didn't have any.
Yes, so there were no available beds.
So if somebody tells you that at the time they got to know that there was a patient like that, there was an available mobile vent, how will you take it as a man in charge here?
I mean, if there was an available mobile vent anytime, we would have used it. We see patients here all the time.
There's a bit of conflict between what you are telling us now and what they are also saying. And so it is either an issue of lack of proper communication or there's a problem somewhere. Either it is an issue of proper communication or negligence or somebody's lying.
I mean, it's a straightforward case. Patient came, assessed, needed to be intubated. There is no vent at the emergency as we speak. There's no functional vent. So the next step is ICU. The call was made to the ICU.
And they said there was no.
They said there was no space. Okay. That was the communication we got.
They heard what Dr. Yakubu was saying. So we have a mobile vent there, and then they spoke to the ICU. The time that they came down to assess and then planned to bring the mobile vents down, that was the time that the patient arrested. So he probably had a stroke in addition.
So from this, I do not want to go there. No, go on.
I didn't get the impression that talk is now created for this narration up there.
But that's
fine.
Is
why I made
Let's leave it there.
I made the point that it may be negligence because clearly
that's fine.
If there was a mobile vent there, the ICU.
If the communication was done at the right time and there was available mobile vent, let's leave it at that. So let's leave it at that.
How often do you get similar cases?
Occasionally it does happen.
That's what you should
Yes,
highlight.
occasionally it does happen. I think the way forward is for us to have the vents available at the emergency. And then this wouldn't have even happened because we could have intubated the patient without needing
So
to
I said what I'm going to say, I said it when I went up there at the ICU. You know, how you handle patients, even if the unfortunate happens, it gives them some kind of comfort. Okay? If the patient is brought, and you are looking for a certain equipment and you've not gotten it. And then
Honorable, not to comment, but you see, if that communication wasn't done, whoever is making a case out of it wouldn't have even known. Because we make it a point, before we intubate the patient, the family must be informed that this is the next step that is needed. So there's no way somebody would have said that appropriate counseling wasn't done. Then how did we arrive at that point and we called the ICU? So that communication has been done. I don't know what's making the issue blow out of proportion, but there's no circumstances under which a patient will come, need intubation. Intubation, you need consent before you intubate. So there's no way we wouldn't have communicated with the patient relative. That was done. And we try as much as possible to discuss the prognosis of patients with patient relatives the moment they come, especially for the red zone, which we all know is high dependency. But I think the solution to this is simple. If there were available ventilators here, then we would have intubated the patients, and then this issue wouldn't have even sprung up. That's what I think. Because we have the capacity to have intubated the patient.
yeah, we all
within the
know
emergency.
we all know the ideal situation, and we all know what must be done to solve the problem. But that doesn't mean that until we have the ideal situation, we should not be able to manage the situation. You understand? And so that is why you are here. We don't have it here, but we have it at the ICU. The fact that we don't have it here doesn't mean that if there's an issue, your defense is that because we don't have it here, until we have it here.
No,
I mean, nobody.
It's not a defense.
So don't put up that posture.
No, it's not a defense.
Please.
I'm also trying.
Don't put up that posture.
Yes.
Don't put up that posture. I'm telling you something that you are insisting and resisting. Huh? Please.
If we have to resolve the problem, we have to be honest.
I'm saying that I've told you.
Because I also stated that. Stop.
How you treat the person? You should let him know. Even from the minister, can you imagine what you do with the common person?
I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to
The common
You do worse things here. It means that you do worse things here.
I mean, even with your superiors, look at how you are arguing.
There's a problem. There's a problem here.
So if a commoner comes here, can you
There's a
imagine
problem.
what
How can somebody talk to this man here? How will he be able to communicate?
Student comes here, how could he deal with
There's
it?
a problem.
Ghana for the kosi ye no e wo mu say hospital no de o kwa o hu ahi doctors fo ni bi ni nurses fo ni bi hu ahi and de man kanam da because unya opportunity ko your friends say private hospital as a government hospital who difference room name mo busa won say wan e course so no mo mu jan wo minute o free wo ba woda ka papam wo aboa wo ba ya ma Land Cruiser ya ma Land Cruiser ene hwede wa ye kama no wa ye senkase ene wa ye kama o skin na to so wo bodam skase na mo di tua doctors for no mo nkwatu mo pem ka na 10% ko mo tua mo nkwase afo no ma be ka kwa asema chiro many doctors for chenki ya tua mo bi ni nkwase asam nchira mo na politician mo nyani pa nchen mo Ghana for mama hu ma adwen na this time abufuo nko o mo si abufuo na ma say ye krakrakra sa no o mo si abufuo wo aka no we ni party obi moa wo obi no kasa rofa wo no na we ni party wo kwase afo na na kufa no kwase na mo ne kasa ye moa